आयच्या ह्या ग्राउंड झिरो तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार. बाकीच्या विशयी आमी उलयतले, बट सुरवात करतात बिहाराच्या रिझल्टा वेल्यान. And we have a very, very special guest with us. We have co-owner and editor-in-chief of India Ahead, Bhupendra Chaubey. Bhupen, welcome to the show. So let me first begin with a very simple question. After looking at the trends, results, what are your initial comments?
Well, what a result. What a result it's turned out to be. For the first time, I'm seeing an election where counting is, well, going on in normal times to the extent that it is going on to. This election in many ways, Pramod, reminds me of what had happened in Madhya Pradesh when Kamal Nath had become the chief minister, and counting, I remember, went on literally till well past midnight before the last vote was counted and the last EVM machine was opened up and put to count. This was pretty much along expected lines. All the exit polls, the post polls which had been done had shown that this was going to be a kaante ki takkar, a very tightly contested battle, and that's what it's turned out to be. But in the ultimate analysis, what has happened is that this fascination for Modi across India, irrespective of the kind of times you live in, I think this fascination for Modi, it's very simply put, is just triumphing over and overruling all other extraneous factors I'm trying to think of.
Very clearly, most of the exit polls projected something other than what's happening right now. Where do you think that assessment went wrong?
I think there was a general consensus that that the presence of Lok Janshakti Party was meant to endanger the prospects of the NDA more. I think what has happened that while Chirag Paswan's presence in the fray has certainly impacted the Janata Dal United's performance, it has pulled itself down in some ways. It has also impacted the performance of Mahagathbandhan, of the RJD, for instance, in several candidates, in several areas. I can give you the example of a constituency like, let's say, Araria, which used to be held by the Congress party, a stronghold of the Congress, was with the Congress in 2015, but this time around it's ended up being given to the JDU. Now the reason for that is the presence of smaller independents, but also the presence of Asaduddin Owaisy's AIMIM. So in some seats where a typical Muslim-dominated seat would have meant advantage Mahagathbandhan, that advantage gets split up, gets fragmented because of presence of other players. In seats where there would be economically backward classes, the poorest of the poor, the presence of LJP has ended up trifurcating those seats there as well. That's where I think this poll has changed dramatically. And to put the icing on the cake, so to say, is the BJP's performance. The number of seats which have been gained by the BJP, it just shows that that this was an election where what was on test, frankly, was whether Narendra Modi's pull factor is still at play when it comes to extremely adverse circumstances. Migrant workers coming back home, Corona pandemic, this general sense of unease and frustration in terms of what your future is going to look like. When in trouble, people have simply opted for Modi. That's the way to look at it.
One factor, major factor regarding which has spoken a lot was the anti-incumbency factor against Nitish Kumar government, and after 15 years. Was it overrated, or somehow during the time of campaigning they managed to tide over it?
I don't think it was overrated. After 3 terms as chief minister and 15 years in the hot seat, there is bound to be some amount of anti-incumbency. And if you look at the seats, if you look at the numbers, the one party which is gaining the most is frankly just the BJP. There have been losses for both for the RJD as well as Janata Dal United. The RJD's losses through the day have of course come down, but it's nowhere near what the performance was in 2015. The party that has gained the most, the single largest party today in Bihar, is a Bharatiya Janata Party. What has happened, Pramod, is very interesting. What has happened is that in Bihar, which is known for its fragmentation along different caste lines, people have essentially voted on the basis of their caste preferences for their conventional political choices. What was being anticipated was that the economic criterion, maybe the Corona pandemic, will force people, and a general sense of fatigue, will force people to look elsewhere. That's not happened. if you're the forward caste, they have consolidated around the BJP. If you're the economically backward classes, they by and large voted for the JDU, and in some parts perhaps for Tejasvi Yadav, and in some areas the Lok Janshakti Party. But it's not as if that these classes have simply gone away from their chosen established partners. Let me give you another example. In 2007, the reason why Mayawati ended up getting a full majority government in the state of UP is because a conscious call was taken by Brahmins of the state to vote en masse for Mayawati. And that gave her a full majority government. She got the better of Samajwadi Party in the BJP. In 2020, no community has moved en masse from their respective from the respective conventional political choices, which is why you're seeing an assembly where different individual political parties, all of them are fragmented barring the BJP, are fragmented in their overall strength. But as an alliance, if you look at it, the presence of the BJP, the presence of Modi has obviously had a huge factor, both in the BJP's performance as well as the JDU's performance.
One factor that was spoken a lot was how lockdown and the pandemic was handled, and most of the in-migration happened during lockdown in Bihar. The way migrants had to go, the way they had to walk hundreds of kilometers, all these issues were raised. What do you think? These issues, life and death issues, had no impact as far as the electorate is concerned. Electorate looked at a larger picture, and as far as these issues are concerned, they were not bothered about.
I think, Prabodh, I must point out to all our viewers in Goa, the Bihari voter is one of the most politically astute voters that I have seen in my life. They are very transactional when it comes to their voting preferences. They know exactly what is it that they will get if they were to really think in terms of who to vote for. What has happened on the ground, if you move into, say, deeper areas of Mithilanchal or Simanchal, areas dominated by the Kosi floodplain, so to say, all these areas, if you look at the party which is dominating today, from North Bihar to South Bihar to Central Bihar, it's a Bharatiya Janata Party. There is no region of Bihar where the BJP is not gaining ground. Now, what that tells you is that the poorest of the poor, the urban middle classes, the lower middle classes, have all taken a conscious decision in Bihar that these are uncertain times. If you have to make a living in an uncertain time, then what you need to do is that you need to be on the right side of the state and the central government. They believe this double-engine government, which is often spoken about, by Narendra Modi. They believe that this double-engine government between the JDU and the BJP is what they really require in these times of extreme crisis. That's why the mandate is what it is for the Bharatiya Janata Party, and I think that all the pre-poll talk or Tejasvi Yadav's drip talk of giving 10 lakh jobs, I think it has worked, but it has not worked to that degree that they perhaps were hoping for.
Very crucial as far as this caste fault lines are concerned. Do you mean to say somehow BJP has succeeded in eliminating these caste fault lines and bring the entire electorate on kind of a majoritarian sentiment?
I won't say that. I won't say that the caste has no play in Bihar. I think that all political parties, no politician in India, whether in Goa or Delhi or Bihar or UP, can ever say that caste does not matter. Caste, of course, matters. You look at ticket distribution for all political parties, you will see what was it that was being attempted. The BJP was simply put, the BJP just had a better face, which ensured that the caste credentials of their preferred voting basis, that caste credential was being looked after and was being protected in a better manner. What did Tejasvi Yadav do? Tejasvi Yadav's hold over the Muslims and Yadavs of Bihar, which adds up to roughly 32% of Bihar's population, is there. But if you look at his performance on those tickets which he had given to other classes, he gave 35 tickets, for instance, to the economically backward classes. He's not done well there. Those are the seats where he's been pulled down by the presence of the LJP, by the presence of an All India Muslim Mujahideen. Now, you look at the BJP's tally on tickets which were meant precisely for their core constituents. They've done exceedingly well on those parts. So what it really brings down to is this, that there is the caste vote, but then there is the caste plus trust vote. I think on the specific parameter of trust, I think Narendra Modi still is India's Neta number one. Narendra Modi is still India's Neta to beat. And I think that is what this Bihar election is really telling us.
What about Congress? Has Congress pulled down Tejasvi Yadav's prospect, or Tejasvi Yadav is where it is right now because of the additional force from the Congress?
Well, Tejasvi's vote is Tejasvi's vote. It's if anything, if the Congress would have managed to add to its vote share, typically the Congress party is in the region of 7 to 8% vote share in Bihar. If the Congress party would have, let's say, increased its vote tally, would have got up to say 12%, 13%, then maybe you would have looked at a very different scenario. In battles which were taking place between the Congress and the JDU, and in battles which were taking place between the RJD and the JDU, the strike rate of the JDU is far better than the strike rate of the Congress party. And I think that is where the RJD may well have managed to get the better of the JDU in certain areas, but in a majority of the areas, what we are seeing is that it's the JDU which is getting the better of the seats in battles with the Congress. If it's a BJP versus the Congress kind of a battle, again it's a BJP which has turned out to be the winner. The Congress not really managing to make a big match of this whole show.
Whom do you consider senior partner in Bihar now? Janata Dal United or the Bharatiya Janata Party after this election?
Oh no, I think that's the next part of the story, Pramod. That with the numbers coming where they are, it's anybody's guess what will Nitish Kumar do. Nitish Kumar has been known to be a 4%er chief minister just by controlling 4% of the vote of the Love Kush community, the Kurmi Kuheri community. Nitish Kumar has held on to his position as being the chief minister of the state for 15 years. So it's not a new position for him to be in. Nitish Kumar is the first and perhaps the only politician in India who has a conscience on call. Now, I don't know when this conscience on call will come back to hit Nitish Kumar and what decision he will take, depending on the overall tally. But this is an election for the BJP. This is a mandate very, very clearly for the Bharatiya Janata Party. The BJP would love to have Nitish Kumar as chief minister. Will Nitish Kumar accept that position? Will Nitish Kumar think in terms of moving to the center? I think the next couple of hours will will give us an answer to that.
Will be very crucial. Fourth term of Nitish Kumar as CM, how do you look at it?
Fourth term, yes, very few politicians other than Jyoti Basu. There is, and Manik Sarkar. Tarun Gogoi, failed to do that.
Yeah.
Sheila Dikshit, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the list of individuals who wanted to be four-term chief minister is a rather long one. For Nitish, as he said, in the last day of the campaign, Ant Bala to Sab Bala.
Yeah.
I think that Nitish Kumar will look at this as his last hurrah. He will, after 15 years, even if you end up ceding some space to the opposition, even if you end up losing some ground, he'll accept that, as long as he's the one who's sitting in that chief minister's residence at Panane Marg in a couple of days.
Last question before I let you go. What are the lessons for us journalists, psephologists out of this massive exercise? And that too because it is Bihar.
Yes, it's the lesson is this, that Delhi-based poll punditry doesn't work. What you need to do, you need to be on the ground. And we just need to accept one simple cardinal rule of Indian social ecosystem now. You look at Bihar, you look at, more importantly, you look at what's happened in the other states, whether it's Madhya Pradesh, it's Karnataka, or the Dubaka by-poll, the Jharkhand by-poll. The BJP's dominance in these corona times is telling you that the people of India, irrespective of the criticism which we often see in large sections of the media, the poorest of the poor are backing Prime Minister Modi, and they believe that he's the man to trust when in times of extreme crisis. That's the fundamental underlying lesson, whether you're a journalist or you're any other.
Is that the charisma of a man, a leader, or failure of the opposition?
It's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both, but it's a question of trust. What was the phrase which was used by the Prime Minister during the Bihar Assembly election campaign? He said, Bharosa. And we were all left wondering whether there is a contradiction between what Nitish Kumar stands for and the phrase which is being used by the BJP to project itself. In the ultimate analysis, well, it's turned out to be that Narendra Modi is more bharoseband than any other politician in India today.
Yeah. Bhupendra, thanks a lot for joining us and this insightful analysis. Great to have you on the show. I think every Goan would love to listen to you. Thanks a lot. Let's see how next couple of days unfold in Bihar. But thanks a lot for that very insightful analysis.
Thank you. Thanks for all. Thanks for all. Best wishes.
हांव ल्हानसो ब्रेक घेता. बिहारचे हे विश्लेशण तुम्ही आयकलें. व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग विश्लेशण. जशी घडामोडी घडटात तशी आम्ही तुमचे म्हऱ्यात घेत रावतले. तुम्ही सकाळी सावन बिहारचे नदर दवरून आहात. वॉट दीस रिझल्ट मिन्स आणि त्याच्यो निटिगिटीज कितें हाजो एक ब्रॉड पर्स्पेक्टिव्ह हाडपाचो हो आमचो यत्न आशिल्लो. खंयच वचनाकात, ल्हानसो ब्रेक घेता आणि रोखडोच परत येता.
अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस।
परत एक फावट येवकार तुमकां. आमी बिहारचें विश्लेशण आयकलें. आतां मुखार वता आमचो चीफ रिपोर्टर लौकीक शिलकार आमकां जॉयन जाता. लौकीक, आय थिंक निलेश काब्रालाची आत्तां पत्रकार परिशद जाली आनी ती बी लायटी सारक्या म्हत्वाच्या विशयाचेर. कितें आसा डिटेल्स आमच्या व्ह्युअराक सांग अँड देन वील मूव अहेड.
प्रमोद, निलेश आत्ता प्रेस कॉन्फरन्स काबार जाले. त्यांनी आपले एंटायर सगळे डिपार्टमेंट हँडल करता तेचेर ब्रिफींग केलें. सो तेणी पयलीं घेतलो तो FTPCA फ्युअल परचेस एंड एडजस्टमेंट चार्जीस एडजस्टमेंट आसता, FTPCA चार्जीस आसता तेचेर सांगलें की तेचेर खूब एलिगेशन जाता की जुलय म्हयन्याचे जे चार्जीस आहा ते फुडल्या 3 म्हयन्या म्हणजे फुडल्या 3 म्हयन्याक लागपाचे. सो तेचेर ते खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात म्हणजे बिल खूप वाडटले अशें आसले. तर तेणी एक्सप्लेन केलें ते पयशांनी वाडटले. 400 युनिट सुद्धा जे परचेस करतले तांकां सुद्धा कांय रुपयांनी ते बिल वाडटले हें तेणी एक्सप्लेन केलें. तेजे उपरांत तेणी घेतले तेजे ऑनलायन सर्विसीस तो स्टार्ट करता. मॅरेज रजिस्ट्रेशन सुद्धा आसलें जाल्यार तेका पयलींचे ज्यो फॉर्मेलिटी लागता आनी जे लोक लायनी ऑफिसांनी रावता ते जावचे न्हू म्हणून सगळ्यो गजाली पयलीं इनिशियल स्टेजीचेर ऑनलायन, मागीर फक्त मेन सायनींग आसता थंय रजिस्ट्रेशन मेन सायनींग आसता थंय अपॉयंटमेंट दिवून बी ऑनलायन घेवन वचपाक जाता. ही सिस्टम तो लॉन्च करपाक सोदता. लायटीच्यो खुबश्यो गजाली ते कंप्लेन आसता, कोणाचे इश्यूज आसता ते ऑनलायन हें करपाचे, ऑनलायन ऑप्शन्स दिवपाक सोदता आनी तेच्या खातीर स्पेशल डेस्क बसयतलो तो. ते पयतले कोणाची एप्लिकेशनां पेंडींग आहा, कोण फाटल्यान उरलो, कित्याक लागून उरलो, म्हणजे कोणाची पेंडींग उरपाक जायना. ते आसतना सांगता आपूण ऑनलायन करपाचें डिस्करेज करप्शन. तो म्हणटा खंयच्या मनशाक जर आपलें काम बेगीन करपाक जाय तो ऑफिसरा फुडें वयता आनी ताका एक 500 दिता म्हणटा आपलें मातशें बेगीन करून दी. सो थंयच्यान करप्शन स्टार्ट जाता म्हणटा. जेन्ना ऑनलायन गेले ऑनलायन ऑटोमॅटिकली काम फास्ट जातलें आनी कोणाक तूं डिस्करेज करप्शन म्हणटा कोणाक पयशे दिवचे पडचे ना आनी करप्शन जावचें ना. सो तेजो आर्ग्युमेंट आसता ते करता आसतना मागीर OTS स्कीम तेणी अनावन्स केली लास्ट एक 2-3 कॅबिनेट फाटल्या कॅबिनेटाक. ती OTS स्किमीचेर तेणी सांगलें की डिसेंबरा 1 तारखेच्यान ती एक्टिवेट जातली. डिसेंबर एंडाक ती सोंपतली. फक्त 1 म्हयनो ती चालू आसतली. जे फाटले म्हणजे 30 ऑक्टोबर आतां आसा, तर 30 ऑक्टोबर ते फाटले कितलेशेच हितून येता म्हणजे एकानी जे पेंडींग आसता तेचे इंटरेस्ट डिले पेमेंट चार्जीस जातले. कोण हें करता कोण एप्लाय करता ते फूल डिले पेमेंट चार्जीस, ते इंटरेस्ट कितें आहा तो तेगेलो मायनस जातलो तितूंतल्यान. आनी तितूंतल्यान एक 400+ कोटी सुमार ती पेंडन्सी आहा तेन्नाची खूब वर्सां फाटली. तितूंत फक्त ते डिले पेमेंट चार्जीस 100% लोकांनी बुडयले आनी 100% लोकांनी जर डिले पेमेंट चार्जीस ते OTS स्किमा अंडर तर ते मायनस करून भरले जाल्यार 300 कितले तरी कोटी सुमार रेव्हेन्यू येता. 90 क्रोर्स स्टेटीक लॉस म्हणजे प्रिन्सिपल अमाउंट आता येता. हे जे डिले पेमेंट चार्जीस लायले तितलेच मायनस करता गव्हर्मेंट. सो कस्टमराकूय बरें पडटलें की आपले जे एडिशनल चार्जीस ते लायले ते मायनस जाता, आपूण अमाउंट भरता आनी गव्हर्मेंटाकूय तसो डायरेक्ट लॉस जावचो ना. तेजे उपरांत मोलेचेर उलयलो कोला विशीं प्रोजेक्ट तेका आमी विचारलें. तो म्हणटा इतलो कोल जे एलिगेशन जाता तितलो वापरप हाडप हँडल करप शक्यूच ना म्हणून. तेन्ना आमी ताका विचारलें की बाबा तुमच्या सागरमाला प्रोजेक्टान इतलो प्रोजेक्शन केला जाल्यार तेणी सांगलें एके एजन्सीक ते काम दिल्लें सगळ्यो गजाली करपाचें. कसले कसले बिझनेस करपाक जाय सागरमालान, तर कितें प्रॉस्पेक्ट आसूं शकता ते. तेणी तो प्रोजेक्ट केला म्हणजे तो आमी यूज करतलेच ती कॅपेसिटी अशी ना. तेणी म्हटलें आपूण सरकाराक आसूं वा नासूं आपूण हांगसर आसतलो आनी इतले जो हें करता पळय तो कोल हँडलिंग आपूण केन्नाच गोंयान जावपाक दिवपाक ना. इतलें ठामपणान सांगलां ते जावपाकूच जायना. जे आतां हँडल करता तितलेच फुडें जावपाक जाय. आनी त्या खातीर म्हणटा CMO आतां दिल्ली गेला, CMO दिल्लीच्यान एश्युरन्स घेवन येतलो म्हणून सांगला तेणी. ते पावरीचे म्हणटा तो 400 kV लायनीचेर तेन्ना ताका विचारलें 400 kV लायन जी येता ती रेल्वे खातीर येता बाकीच्या हेका लागून. तेणी सांगलें की रेल्वे खातीर ते 400 kV ती फक्त 0.003% सुद्धा यूज जायचं ना असे त्यांनी आपले कॅल्क्युलेशन करून सांगले. यातले प्रमोद याचे पॉवर मिनिस्टरच्या दुसरे घेता 2 दीस जाले गोयचे सीएम दिल्ली आहा तो त्याच्या बरोबर पार्टीचे गोवा प्रदेशाध्यक्ष सदानंद शेख कानावडे दिल्ली गेले. आमचे सगळ्याचे फोटोज येतात आता दिल्लीचे जे कोणाकोणाक मेळ्ळे कानावडे दिसता ते फोटोवान. कालच्यान तेणी पण तो ट्रायबल कोऑपरेटिव्ह मार्केटिंग डेव्हलपमेंट फेडरेशनाचे जे IAS गव्हर्नमेंट बॉडीचे IAS ऑफिसर MD म्हणून आसता प्रवीर कृष्णा तांकां मेळ्ळे. तितून खुबश्यो ट्रायबल स्किमी तेणी कश्यो फुडें व्हरपाक जाता तेजेर डिस्कशन केलें. PM वन धन योजना कशी इम्प्लिमेंट करपाक जाता इफेक्टिवली तेजेर डिस्कशन जालें. दुसरी काल तेजी मिटींग जाली टुरिझम मिनिस्टर प्रल्हाद पटेला कडेन. थंय तेणी कल्चरल टुरिझम सेंटराच्या सपोर्टान कशें स्टेटीन घेवपाक जाता तेजेर डिस्कशन जालें. आनी दुसरी गजाल हे जे आमचे लिबरेशन डे जाता मुक्ती दीस जातलो 60वा मुक्ती दीस त्या कार्यक्रमाक त्या दिसा तेणी टुरिझम मिनिस्टर गोंयान इन्वायटू केला. दुसरे ते मागीर एनिमल सिंग तेजे कडेन डेरी ह्यो गजाली येता सो ते स्किमीचेर चर्चा जाली. आयच्यान तेच्यांनी स्टार्ट केला ते शिपिंग मिनिस्टर राती आनी ते मनसूख मंत्रीय शिपिंग मिनिस्टराक मेळटले. कालची जी लास्ट मिटींग आसली शिपिंग मिनिस्टर तेणी कोलाचो इश्यू काडलो. कोलाच्या एका कसो विरोध जाता गोंयान गजाल तेंचे मुखार ती मेन मिटींग तेंची पण ते लेटर बी म्हणटा तशें आमकां आजून कांय येवना खंयच्या मिनिस्ट्री कडल्यान आमकां लेटर तशें काय आजून कांय इनपूट येयल्ले ना. फक्त ग्रिव्हन्सीस आहा त्यो तेंचे मुखार म्हणल्यार तेजे आयज ते नितीन गडकरीक मेळटा कांय हायवे प्रोजेक्टांचेर उलयले अनमोड म्हणजे तो मोल्या सायडीचो अनमोड घाटाचो हायवे एक्सपान्शनाक विरोध जाता तेच्या बाबतींत तेणी नितीन गडकरीक सांगलें. मागीर सडाटे वर्णापुरी जो रोड आहा तो बेगीन कंप्लीट करपाक तेजेर चर्चा जाली. मागीर ते रेल्वे मिनिस्टर पियुष गोयलाक मेळ्ळे थंय चर्चा जाली. थंयचे आमकां आजून सारकें इनपूट येवना की डबल ट्रॅकिंगाचें डिस्कशन जाला काय ना. आजून पर्यंत इनपूट येयला तें फक्त तेंची मिटींग जाली इतलेंच कळटा. इतले पर्यंत आज सीएमाची मिटींग आसली.
या थँक्स अ लॉट लौकीक. हांव थंयच्यान विवेका म्हऱ्या वता. विवेक कितें आहा फोंडेचे अपडेट?
पयलीं म्हणल्यार आयज तुम्ही पळयला आसतलें प्रतिमा कुतिन्य जे काँग्रेस महिला आहा तांच्यांनी आयज ओल्ड बस स्टँडाचेर कांदे हाडून विकले. तेच्या 25 रुपयान कांदे किलो अशें करून लोकांनी खूब गर्दी केली कांदे विकपाक घेवपाक. आनी तांणी एक सांगला की कॉर्पोरेशन हे जे हॉर्टिकल्चर कॉर्पोरेशन आहा ते काय हेजेर काय उलयना आनी जे रेशना मार्फत जे कांदे दिवपाचे आशिल्ले लोकांक ते कांदे सारखे नात आनी 3 किलो म्हणलेले जाल्यार ते 1 किलो येता कांदे. सो लोकांक हे कांदे परवडपाचे ना आनी 1 किलो कांदे लोकांक हे दिवाळी सणाक पावपाचे ना म्हणून. सो तेन्ना 25 ते 30 रुपयान कांदे अवेलेबल करून दिवचे अशे तरेचे प्रतिमा कुतिन्यन गव्हर्मेंटाक शिटकावणी दिल्या. आनी फाल्यां वाळपय तशेंच प्रत्येक तालुक्यान ते कांदे विक्री करपाचे आसा. दुसरी गजाल प्रमोद जे कोविड केसी आहा त्यो सादारण त्यो आतां 15 ते 20 हेजेर पावल्ल्यो आसा. कालूय 15 केसी आशिल्ल्यो आयजूय जवळ जवळ 15 केसी म्हणल्यार लोक दिवाळी सणाक लागून जे विक्री करपाक येता मार्केटान खंयच सोशल डिस्टन्सिंग पाळयनात. कोणाकूच भंय उरलो ना. सगळे कडेन सगळे ओपन जाल्ले आसा. लोक म्हणटा पळोवया आतां केसी कमी जाल्ल्यो आसा. सो ह्या पद्दतीन सगळें वातावरण चल्लेलें आसा. जेन्ना आमी पयर गोविंद गावडेक जेन्ना कांद्या विशीं आमी उलयले तेन्ना मिनिस्टरान सांगलें की जो कांदो आसा तो पयली एक लॉट येयला तो कमी प्रमाणान येयला आनी दुसरो लॉट जो येतलो तो एंड ऑफ म्हयन्याक येतलो म्हणून. सो लोकांक 3 किलो कांदो जो एश्युरन्स दिल्लो आहा तो 3 किलो कांदो लोकांक मेळटलो म्हणून. पण फक्त मातसो डिले जातलो आनी ट्रान्सपोर्टेशनाक प्रॉब्लम जाल्ल्या कारणान तो कांदो लेट पावतलो म्हणून अशे तरेन तेणें ऑलरेडी सांगलेलें आसा. सो लोकांनी दिशाभूल करची न्ही अशें तेणें पयरूच तेणें क्लियर केल्लें आसा. पण कांद्याचेर राजकारण ऑलमोस्ट परत एकदां लोकांनी जावं बाकीच्या राजकारणी केल्लें आसा प्रमोद.
थँक्स अ लॉट विवेक. हांव बार्देजा वता. श्याम फट्टे आसा आमचे बरोबर. श्याम कितें आहा अपडेट बार्देजाची कोविडाची बी बाकीची बी?
प्रमोद पयली कोविडाची जर अपडेट घेतली जाल्यार सध्या कोविडाचे ही खूप कमी जाल्ले आसा. कित्याक आयज जर घेतले जाल्यार म्हापश्यान आयज म्हापसा अर्बनाचे भितर फक्त 4च केसी आहा. मागीर कोलवाळ PSCच्या भितर आयज 1च केस आहा योसनोड्या. मागीर शिवोले भितर आयज फक्त 4च केसी आसात. हळदोण्यान आयज नील आसा. फक्त वाळल्या ते कांदोले आयज 16 केसी जाल्या आनी पर्वरी 5 केसी आहा. ही कोविडाची जाली. आनी दुसरे आतां म्हणून विवेकान सांगला त्या प्रमाणे कांद्याची खरें म्हणजे आतां पळोवंक गेलो जाल्यार राजकारण जालां काय कितें अशें दिसता. गव्हर्मेंटान फेअर प्राईस शॉपांक 34 रुपया 50 पैसे कांदो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करपाक 3 किलो सांगलो तो 1 किलो दिला. आणि दुसरं ॲज हॉर्टिकल्चरान जर पळयलें जाल्यार काल 54 रुपयान रेट आसली, जी 70 रुपयान 80 रुपयान 90 रुपया मेरेन रेट जाल्ली ती काल 54 रुपयान आसली. बाजारान 50 रुपया मेरेन जावं थोडे कडेन 45 रुपया मेरेन काल शुक्राच्या बाजारात मातसो बारीक कांदो 45 रुपया ते 50 रुपया मेरेन विकलो गेलो. आणि आता जसे विवेकान सांगला की काँग्रेस बी 25 रुपयांनी कांदो विकता. तशें जालें जाल्यार जे गव्हर्नमेंट आता ते फेअर प्राईस शॉपांक जे कांदो दिला तर लोक व्हरतले काय कितें हो प्रश्न फेअर प्राईस शॉप.
या डेफिनेटली आय थिंक व्हेरी क्रुशल कांद्याचो मुद्दो हांव थंयच्यान लौकिका मरे वता. लौकीक क्विकली यू हॅव सम अपडेट.
आपण कोविडाची अपडेट आमकां स्टेट वायज हे दिता. आयज परत एकदा चार डेथ जाल्यात, 2 जीएमसी 2 ESI. दुसरे एक्टिव्ह केसीस 1884 2000चे सकयलेले आसा. टोटल डेथ जे आता पर्यंत त्यो 647 म्हणजे जरी केसी कमी जाल्यो तरी टेस्टिंग कमी जाला. खुबशे टेस्टिंग आता 1500 ते 1800 पर्यंत जाता दिसाक. 150 ते 200 ते 250 पर्यंत केन्ना केन्ना केसी वयता एक्टिव्ह केसी. पण नंबर ऑफ केसीस देंवला, पण डेथ्स आहा त्यो मदीं 8 मेळटा, मदीं 6 मेळटा, मदीं 5 आयज 4 जाल्यो. डेथ्साचो प्रमाण तसो आसा. रिकवरी रेट गोंयची 94.40% दाखयता. ही जाली हेची अपडेट कोविडाची. तिसवाडीचो जर आमी अपडेट घेतलो जाल्यार तिसवाडीच्यो चिंबेल, खोर्ले आनी पणजेचे अर्बन हेल्थ सेंटर तिगांचे मेळून 200 भितर 196 कितल्यो केसीस आहा. कांद्याचेर दोगांनी उलयले, विवेक आनी फट्टेमणाव मेन्शन करता. आमी आयज हेका मेळ्ळे हॉर्टिकल्चर कॉर्पोरेशनाचे चेअरमॅन प्रवीण जाटयेक. तेणी सांगलें की कांद्याचो प्रॉब्लेम कित्याक लागून जालो तो. आनी ते उपरांत कांदो आतां फुडले 10 दिसान म्हणटा ते 15 तुमचो जो रेग्युलर आहा रेट 15 ते 20 रुपया किलो त्या रेटाचेर येता. आनी तेणी इतलें सांगलें की जर हॉर्टिकल्चर कॉर्पोरेशन आयज मार्केटान नाशिल्लें जाल्यार जे प्रायवेट कांदे विकपी आहा ते कांद्याच्या रेटाक उजो लायतले, म्हणजे सामको वाडोवन दवरतले आसले. आमी आसा आनी मार्केटांतल्यान आमी कांदो प्रक्रिया करता म्हणून कांद्याचो रेट गोंयान कंट्रोल आहा. आनी जर सिव्हील सप्लाय म्हणटा तर रेशना प्रमाण जर कांदो दिवपाक जाय जाल्यार ते सिव्हील सप्लायूच करपाक शकता. पण आनी नाफेड जी ह्या गव्हर्नमेंटाची बॉडी आहा ती डायरेक्ट खंयच्या कॉर्पोरेशन सुद्दां एक प्रायवेट हितून येता, तिका डायरेक्ट कांदो दिना म्हणपाक लागलो. तो सिव्हील सप्लायकूच ती दिता. पण तो कांदो आसता तो स्टोर केलो आसता, म्हणजे सवाय खूब प्रोडक्शन जाता आनी ते स्टोर करून दवरता. आनी आतां असल्या टायमार ते भायर काडटा. म्हणजे आमची रेग्युलर गरज जी गोंयची 40 ते 50 टन पर डे कांदो लागता ते नाफेड सप्लाय. समज ती एक सिस्टम वर्कआउट केलं ते सप्लाय करपाक शकना, कारण तेची एजन्सीचे कामूच ते नाफेडाचे कामूच अशें आहा की चड प्रोडक्शन जाता तेन्ना ते स्टोर करून दवरप आनी जेन्ना शॉर्ट जाता तेन्ना ते मार्केटाक बॅलन्स करपाक भायर काडप. ते डेली रुटीन बिझनेसान ते वचना. आनी तेणी सांगलें की फुडल्या 10 ते 15 दिसान कांद्याचो रेट म्हणपाक लागलो 15 ते 20 रुपया पर किलोचेर येतलो. आनी दुसरे वटेन हे सिव्हील सप्लायचो जो कांदो आहा तो फक्त 1 किलो आतां सगळ्यांक पावला आनी 2 किलो पर रेशन तो येवपाचो आहा. तो येता म्हटल्यार समज जर रेट दिसाचेर पावलो जाल्यार मागीर तो सिव्हील सप्लायचो 35 रुपया किलोचो कांदो तेजो मागीर परत प्रॉब्लेम जाता. लोक ते कित्याक व्हरतले सिव्हील सप्लाय शॉप.
बरोबर. या
सो
येस
मार्केट आतां देंवता हेजे कांद्याचें.
या थँक्स अ लॉट लौकीक. म्हजो वेळ सारको सोंपला. हांव इतल्याचेर थांबतां. थँक्स अ लॉट फॉर वॉचिंग दीस ब्रॉडकास्ट. पळयत रावात प्रुडंट. नमस्कार.